And that disapproval number might be higher if more Americans realized how, under the Obama administration, government is channeling more money than ever to the world's biggest abortion provider. On Capitol Hill today, opponents of abortion set up a display to show how many babies Planned Parenthood kills each day. Paul Strand brings us the story.
Crosses filled the lawn in front of the Capitol building this Halloween day as quiet testimony to a specific kind of death.
We build this as what's the most scary thing in Washington, D.C. today. The most scary thing is our government gives $540 million to an organization that kills 915 children a day. That's over 335,000 a year.
That organization is Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood does an abortion every 95 seconds.
That one doesn't have a stake on it. There you go.
Missy Martinez of Students for Life helped set up the 915 crosses, marking Planned Parenthood's daily kill.
You hear the number 915 and you're like, oh, that's big, but then you see the actual layout of 915 crosses, and it's just very sobering. It hurts your heart when you realize it's that many children that die every day from abortion.
And that's just at Planned Parenthood. Students for Life helps sponsor this display, important because student-age Americans are the main customers for abortion and yet also the biggest opponents. Pro-Life's hope for the future.
This is the generation that's being directly targeted by Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry. Ironically, though, this is the generation that is pro-life. They're least likely to actually favor abortion because we've seen the 3D ultrasounds of our brothers and sisters in the womb. We all know what partial birth abortion is. So we see abortion differently than previous generations.
Pro-lifers young and old keep talking about Planned Parenthood and its monumental amount of abortions because most Americans still don't know about it.
60% of the American public has no idea that Planned Parenthood provides abortions, let alone is the largest abortion provider in the world.
And that's with more than 70% of Americans saying they're against taxpayer funding of abortions. HHS Secretary Kathleen Sebelius was just on Capitol Hill testifying she's not sure about abortion funding under Obamacare. Hawkins smirks at that.
Abortion is covered in Obamacare and taxpayers are going to be funding it. But what's really interesting is the Secretary herself wrote a memo this April mandating that all insurance providers cover Planned Parenthood and their services in the health insurance exchanges.
So they fill in like this little gap here.
These pro-life groups wanted to make sure they put up these crosses on the Capitol grounds because it's Congress that actually funds whatever government pays for.
And we're saying, look, 915 children die a day because of Planned Parenthood, and you help do it. You help fund this organization.
And with Obamacare, the tragedy is that money to Planned Parenthood will only increase.
The interesting thing is that the House of Representatives, which is majority pro-life, could defund Planned Parenthood any day it wants to. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from Capitol Hill.
For more on this, Mark Martin spoke with Kristen Hawkins. She's the president of Students for Life of America. Take a look.
During her testimony yesterday, Kathleen Sebelius said she would provide to Congress a list of the health care exchange plans that do not cover elective abortion. So it sounds like there are some plans that do not cover abortion. Are you saying that's not true?
The Obamacare Act said that at least one plan in every state exchange could not cover abortions. What was interesting when they made this compromise, Congress didn't say which plan that had to be. It could be the Cadillac plan, or it could be the worst plan on the market, or it could be the most expensive plan on the market. So we don't know in many states what those plans are, where the pro-life plans are. So this will be really interesting to see what Kathleen Sebelius reports back to Congress to see what types of plans in each state, the one plan, which one's the pro-life plan.
Now, you also say that the government has labeled pregnancy as a, quote, preventable disease in the health care law. So what does that mean in terms of what must be covered?
Because the Department of Health and Human Services called it a preventable disease, that means that contraception, so abortion-causing contraception, carcinogenic contraception, has to be covered at 100%. So regardless of your beliefs on contraception, every health insurance plan in America now must cover contraception at 100%.
What kind of money does Planned Parenthood stand to make under Obamacare?
Well, Planned Parenthood is already making over $500 million every year in taxpayer funding. With Obamacare, they stand to make hundreds of millions more. In fact, they're already even planning to open up new facilities and new centers, because Kathleen Sebelius sent a memo out to all the health insurance providers this April demanding that every single health insurance plan in the state exchanges have to cover Planned Parenthoods. And for everything. So we know there's going to be hundreds of millions that they stand to make. That's why they were such heavy backers of the bill and have been backing it ever since.
Is there anything that a private consumer can do to ensure that the plan they buy does not cover abortion?
Well, good luck. It's very difficult because in Obamacare, the law actually states that insurance providers are not allowed to advertise to you, the consumer, if abortion is in your plan. They are only allowed to tell you at the time that you sign up if abortion is in your plan or not. It is very, very difficult. That is why we are looking forward to see what Secretary Sebelius reports back to Congress in the next few weeks.
All right, Kristen Hawkins of Students for Life of America. We appreciate your time today, Kristen.
Thanks for having me.